Welcome to everyone to our Mind the Moment's Tuesday morning gathering, brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. As you all know, that any of you that have joined before, this is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness teachers to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them, and then discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and by popular demand, we have Jackie Johsnon back with us, certified professional coach and mindfulness instructor with Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare. And so happy to have you with us, Jackie. Good morning.
I'm so happy to be here, Suzanne. How did that popular demand happen?
You know what? I'm not even going to tell you. It just all comes through the chat. You know, it just
always
happens.
Delighted to be with you. Thank you.
It's so nice to have you here. And a special welcome to our regulars this morning, because you really make this community what it is. So I just wanted to say thank you for being part of our community. And also a really warm welcome to those folks that might be new joining. This is what mindfulness is all about, is the practice. And we're so grateful that you've given it a try and come to join us this morning. So special welcome. And for those that are new or just reminders, today we typically start off with a question for the group. So Jackie will share a question. She'll share a few words with us and then go right into a guided practice. And the practice tends to be about 12 to 15 minutes long. And that practice we'll have guided as well as some quiet time. So we all get a little practice with different types of meditation. And then after that, we'll have time for questions. And once Jackie asks a question, we can chat and share some thoughts about some answers. So if you go to the bottom of your screen, open up the chat. And when you see the blue drop-down menu at the very bottom, just click on everyone, and then everyone can see your comments as you type them. So with that, Jackie, what is the question for this morning?
Well, my question comes from actually a quote that I saw probably a month or so ago on Insight Timer, which is an app that some of you may use as a meditation timer. So it's a quote from the Indian meditation teacher, now deceased, Sri Chinmoy. And the quote is, "I meditate so that my mind cannot complicate my life." Let me just say that again. I meditate so that my mind cannot complicate my life. And it really stuck with me. So my question for you all this morning is, how does your mind complicate your life? What habits of mind are you aware of that bring stress?
I thought this was such a wonderful subject. So I'm going to share that in the chat for anyone because I know we might have a few folks that are joining a little bit later, but we've got a question for everyone, and we put it in the chat. Jackie has asked.
Thought viruses I see popping up from Sophia. Thought viruses.
Yeah. What a way. That's such a unique way to say that. Boy, we could really talk about that one for a while, huh?
Yeah. Worry, focusing on the past, self-judgment.
Catastrophizing. Worry.
Worrying about the past. Yeah.
Fear of missing out. Gosh. Rumination. Obsessing about the past.
Yeah.
Boy, people don't have much to say about this, Jackie.
It's so fascinating to think about, what would life be like if we could pluck, I see fears, if we could pluck some of this stuff out, if we could just sort of surgically remove this from our lives. There's a quote from Mark Twain that also came to mind as I was thinking about this. Worry is like paying a debt you don't owe.
Yeah. Wow.
The cost that's so unnecessary.
Yeah. It's so gosh, we could talk about this forever. I just think it's so poignant, you know. I get in my head about serious scenarios,
See in
chronic
there
pain, chronic
that-
pain. I mean, think about that. That's, you know, a lot of us deal with that. Feeling overwhelmed with work life, time left on earth.
Mm, my life who are hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the practice gives us such an opportunity to see all of this, and to just see it, and perhaps to make some adjustments. Sometimes there are ways, if we're experiencing discomfort, and I'll use practice as an example, if you're sitting in a position where you're feeling pain, you have two options. You can adjust your posture to minimize that discomfort, or you can work with your relationship to it and see if you can just adjust the way you're relating to it. If we're contracting around discomfort, it usually makes it worse. So sometimes, we talk about, if we're practicing and notice an itch, what's it like to not immediately scratch it? So there are always those two options, to change our circumstances in some way, or to see how we can change our relationship to our circumstances.
Yeah, it's so important, because, you know, those choices are, you know, we make them every day. We sometimes don't think about them, but yeah, important way to think of things.
So is this a good point to segue into some practice?
Yes, great.
So we'll practice, as Suzanne said, for about 15 minutes. And I really want to invite you this morning to make the practice as simple as possible. To notice if you're in any way complicating this with thoughts that maybe you're not doing it right, or anything like that, and to make it as simple as possible. So, and I'll give some more cues along those lines along the way, give a little bit of brief guidance at the beginning, and feel free at any point, if it's best for you, to just let my voice drop off into the background and to really do what's best for you. So to start with, just check in with the body. See if there's any movement that that the body wants at this point. Feel free to stand up and stretch if that would help. And then find the posture that's right for you, whether that's seated or standing. You can also lie down if that's not going to cause you to fall asleep, ideally. And just finding the posture that brings a combination of stability and ease. And again, if it feels right, allowing the eyes to close, or if it's better for you to keep the eyes open, casting the gaze downward, averting the eyes from the screen, just finding a soft gaze. And inviting in a couple of deeper than normal breaths, just intentional deep breaths. You might notice sometimes in life, if we're feeling particularly stressed, I notice sometimes that my body just gives a big sigh, even when I'm not conscious of the need for that. And it's a way in which the body is very naturally lengthening the exhale to help us settle. So doing that as you wish intentionally, lengthening the inhalation if you're feeling sleepy, lengthening the exhalation if you're feeling any restlessness or agitation to help settle, and just really feeling the support of the earth holding the body. And doing your own brief scan of the body, seeing what's here in this moment, noticing if there are any areas of tension or tightness that you might just soften. As we soften the body, it really signals the brain that there's safety here, that we can settle. And noticing that sounds come and go without any effort from us. You might be aware of sounds outside, sounds in the room, including the sound of my voice. And noticing that the body is breathing, aware of the breath coming in and going out. And finding whatever anchor is most helpful, most accessible to you, to bring a sense of collectedness to the practice. So we don't need to hold the anchor rigidly in any way, but it just, as an anchor does for a boat, helps to bring us back if we drift off. So that might be focusing on awareness of the breath wherever you notice it, most in the body, at the belly, in the chest, at the nostrils. Could be the breath as a whole in the body. Might be coming back to awareness of sound or sensations of the hands or the feet, the hands in contact with each other, with your lap. Whatever really supports that collectedness of attention, that helps you come back to direct experience of the moment. And in this way that we collect the attention, that we aspire to being aware of the present moment, we're learning about the mind and the heart. What's here? As thoughts and distractions arise, or as you notice that you're caught up in a story, it's not a problem. You might just gently note where the mind has been and see if you can let whatever the distraction was, be in the background. There's no need to fight it or push it away. Keeping the practice very simple. It's as simple as noticing what's being known. Might be a half breath at a time, sensation, sound. Noticing where the mind is in this moment. And each time we get carried away somewhere and we notice and come back, that's the practice. We're building that muscle. Noticing too if there are moments of peace, moments of contentment, collectedness. Just bringing interest and curiosity to whatever is here. And in the last minute or two of the practice, just seeing if there are any adjustments to make to simplify and to just bring some interest and energy to whatever's being known. And as we bring the practice to a close, appreciating that we're building the muscle that enables us to pause throughout the day to see when the mind is complicating life. And perhaps just noticing another breath or two. May the merit of our practice be of benefit to all. And as you're ready, just slowly bringing some movement of the body. If the eyes have been closed, just taking your time to gently open them and bring the attention back from this inward place to the world around us. Thank you for your practice.
Thank you, Jackie. It was really lovely to have a few extra moments there. That's this quiet time is a gift to all of us. So kudos to everyone that's shown up. This part of it is just showing up, right?
Yeah, I love seeing all that's come up in the chat. Concept of building the muscle. Yeah, that's Sophia. That's really what this practice is all about. Getting in my head about various scenarios, trying to figure out problems, complications, anticipation. And the great thing is the more that we see those tendencies, the more we have the agency to adjust.
Yeah, for sure. That Alicia, yeah. The jackhammering that happened. Yeah, and interestingly enough, there's just as we started, there was a pickup truck or a flatbed truck that kind of backed up on I live on a street corner, and it backed up with, it was very distracting initially. And I was like, Jackie's feeling of and words about collectedness really helped, because that beeping was trying to take me away.
And so interesting. Yeah, I see. Thank you, Lily, having curiosity and interest in the mundane. That's something kind of fun to play with, is just noticing the difference of fixating on the beeping and what happens, to practice with what happens if you make the beeping the meditation object. And how can you be playful about seeing if you can let it drop into the background without pushing it away? So it's interesting to sometimes play in practice with something that feels particularly annoying, that we're really not liking.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. And when you mention that, that is what the practice is. That's so important to keep in mind, that there are so many things that can come at us during the day that we can let. I like the way you also said, let your voice fall into the background. Let the beeping fall into the background.
Mm.
I also really like your comment, Jackie, about the anchor.
Mm.
And when we were practicing, and not to hold on to that anchor so with such rigidity, but that, it's a place, it's a place that we can just consider home.
Yeah, beautiful
Yeah.
description, Suzanne. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
sort of like a safety net in a way, right? And again, I go back to the image of the boat, and the boat can drift a certain amount, and the anchor is going to bring it back, not let it go too far.
Mhm. Yeah. Really great. I'm so grateful that you're here this morning to share this lovely question and the quote. I think it really brought a lot of great discussion over the chat. So yeah,
Thank you. Always a pleasure to
really,
be with you.
yeah, it's really great to have you here. I'm noticing sound pollution is the hardest for me. Yeah, me as well. That's Alicia. That's really what I'm working on. So yeah, so grateful to have you all here, and thank you for joining. We wish you a good rest of your day, and Jackie, we'll see you again soon. Thank you again for being here, and
Thank you.
wishing you all the best.
All the best
All
to
right.
all of you.
Yeah, see you all soon. Hopefully you'll join tomorrow. Our Zoom meeting format is a wonderful community as well. So see you soon.